Environmentalists also doubt the credentials of the leadership on offer to steer the crucial UN talks, but hope that people power will motivate the international community this time.
What we've seen happen over the last couple of years is the penny collectively drop on climate change. People are realising just the gravity of the situation that we're in, just how much danger we're in, and the scale of the challenge that we face in actually rising to stop this crisis turning into a catastrophe.
COP26 is a potential showcase for post-Brexit UK, but it's also acknowledged as something of a last chance for us all. Andrew Wilson, CGTN, London.
Well, let's explore this a little further and talk to Tom Burke, who's from Imperial College in London and joins us now live from our Westminster studio. Tom, good to see you. How is the UK handling COP26? It seems to have become something of a political knockabout.
Well, I think the Prime Minister's announcement this morning was a bit underwhelming, especially given the fact that Britain has actually been a global leader in terms of the legislation it's passed itself on climate change. So I think we would have expected to see a bit more than we've got, particularly in the light of the firing of the current president. We really do need, if we're going to ask the rest of the world to do more, we need to be seen to be doing a lot more ourselves. And I would have thought we would have heard more than just a marginal change in a target that we'd already set was necessary in order to get there.
As you say, the current organiser, president, has been got rid of. There's a debate over whether or not this does in fact take place in Scotland. It's not a good start. I wonder what the expectations from this summit are.
Well, the most important thing from the summit is that we've got to keep the momentum of the international process going. So it has to be a success, and that means that people have to be willing, the major countries have to be willing to come ready to make further commitments to going forward on climate change, to doing more. And they are not going to do that unless they really see that Britain is giving a lead. I think the particular thing that needs to happen is there needs to be a really strong agreement between the EU and China between now and November.
As you say, the EU and China are holding a climate summit later this year. How important, I wonder, is an agreement between those two?
I think it's the anchor on which the success of the summit in November depends. If you can't get that agreement, then it will be very hard to make a success and get other countries to join in. On the other hand, as we saw with China and the US before Paris, if there is a strong axis like that anchoring the whole process, then other countries tend to line up behind it. So it really is a big challenge to the Prime Minister to make sure that there's a good EU-China relationship to help underpin his own commitments.
Tom, we've just been reporting on the UK announcing banning petrol, diesel and hybrid cars. I wonder where you think we are in terms of how the UK is doing in terms of its global performance on climate policy.
Well, in terms of Britain's global performance, we've really driven down our emissions more than practically anybody else. And so in some sense, if you're looking at emissions, then we are doing pretty well. And as I said, we've put legislation in place that's become a beacon for the rest of the world. So I don't think that our progress so far has been so bad. But we've really got to make it walk the talk now if we're going to go forward. And there we're not doing so well. We're probably 6% below what we need to be at if we're going to meet our fourth carbon budget, which is part of the legislation, and we're 10% where we need to go below where we need to be if we're going to meet our fifth carbon budget. So what I think we need to see now is real commitment in our budgets to spending the necessary money on improving energy efficiency, on driving forward our investment in the renewable technologies, particularly the infrastructure for electric vehicles. And those, as it were, real tests will tell you more about our future performance, though, as I said, we're building on a not bad performance up until now.
Tom, we shall no doubt talk over the coming weeks and months. For the moment, thank you very much, Tom Burke from Imperial College in London.